RwandaTV fasa rwose ndakwifuriza ko weekend yakomeza kugenda neza ibyo urimo byose aho uri hose ndetse nawe muri kumwe bose dukomeze dukurikiza amabwiriza yo kwirinda COVID-19. Umunsi ni muremure ariko ni umunsi mwiza kubera ko turaza kubonamo impano zitandukanye ariko turaza no kugaruka kuri gahunda ya Rwanda Rocks. Navuga ngo uyu nguyu tugiye kuganira ni umunyamerika duherukana hashize imyaka 5 yambwiraga ko ashaka gufungura ishuri ry'umuziki yigisha abana batandukanye ariko uyu munsi tugiye kuganira twereke muri rusange uyu munsi bimeze gute bihagaze gute kuva muri Omni Peace ariko uyu munsi ni Rwanda Rocks bamwita Mary Fanaro. Welcome back home.
So glad you switched over to English.
Exactly.
This is in Kinyarwanda?
You were scared about Kinyarwanda, eh?
I'm scared.
You don't know any word in Kinyarwanda?
I know a ton of words.
Okay. Like? What I'm saying? That's good.
Hute Chujende.
Okay.
Amakuru. Amafaranga.
Okay.
Gohanaguru.
Okay.
Kinjoragiza.
Wow.
I could go on all day.
Those one are enough. Those one are enough, right? Cool.
No.
After 5 years, you are back.
Yeah.
You're here. After 5 years, we had an interview. It was amazing. You told me about the Rwanda Rocks. You are going to open up the School of Music. And now I have small kids, even the Legion here. And we have one song we have to perform today.
Yes.
I would like to ask you, what is Rwanda Rocks? And then how is Rwanda Rocks so far?
So Rwanda Rocks is a music school. And it operates under the umbrella of Omni Peace Foundation. So Omni Peace builds schools to empower youth in Africa.
Okay.
We have 9 schools in total. We have 7 in Senegal, Mali, and Malawi, and those are primary schools. And then I came to Rwanda just to guerrilla trek, and my cab driver was a keyboard player in his church, and he said to me, you should build a music school. I know you do schools. Will you build one here? I'd love for my son to go to school, which is asking me to build a spaceship. Like, I am not a musician. I'm tone deaf. I'm everything bad at music.
Sure.
And so I said no. But I met you. Exactly. And this is going to all come back to you.
5 years back,
5
right?
years back. And we did an interview, and I said this crazy thing. My cab driver told me to build a music school, and he said, that's exactly what you should. You said that's exactly what you should do, Mary. Yeah. In the interview, and I wish we'll be able to find it one day.
Exactly. Are you happy with Rwanda Rocks so far?
I'm so happy.
Why are you happy?
Because it was something, you know how sometimes in life you think you're going in one direction, and then all of a sudden, like, life throws you a curveball, and you have no choice but to reach out and grab it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going in this direction now. And then something happened to me in this country that I can't quite explain, but it is an extraordinary country. I mean, there is such incredible grace, humility, kindness, collaboration. I was having lunch with a woman, and I was explaining this to her, and she goes, you're what we call Rwanda drunk. And I was like, what is that? And she said, it's tourists like you who become intoxicated with our country. And I said, that's me, because it's the thing that keeps me coming back. And I'm here to stay. And we have an incredible music school. You've been there many, many times. You know our kids. And we're rocking. Okay, as good. The president says, keep on rocking.
As you see in my screens, I have your logo. I have Omni Peace Foundation. How did you start this foundation? So
I started it in 2005.
Okay.
We put that logo on T-shirts. That's how the idea started, to put it on T-shirts. And we would sell them, and the proceeds would build the schools. And I was working with Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, who's this amazing economist who created the Millennium Villages Project, the Sustainable Development Goals, all about, you know, pulling Africa out of poverty, including Africa in the G20 to become the G21.
Sure.
Africa should be 21.
Yeah.
So I just learned from the best. I learned from him, and after the 7 schools, I just thought, I think there's more. And the more was this country and these schools.
Great. How many schools do we have so far in Rwanda with Rwanda Rocks, I think?
So we have 1 in Kachiru.
Okay.
And then we have 1 in the Kaziba refugee camp.
Okay.
So, but we're kind of reworking that one, and we're going to go back in 2022 and then start doing music programs.
In refugee camp, how it works? I think
not easily.
I know. That's why I'm asking that.
We go in over the course of the workshop is about 4 days.
Okay.
And we'll go in on a Thursday. We'll teach all day Friday, before and after school, because the kids break up their schools.
Sure.
We'd all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then Monday in the morning, and then we go. So we get about a good 72 hours, and we do that. You know, before we did it every 3 weeks. I don't know how it's going to work now with COVID, but that's how we did it before. And we had a school there. There's literally a literal Rwanda rock school. It may not be there anymore.
Okay. Good enough. We have different schools here with Rwanda Rocks here, the school which teaches music.
Yeah.
But also outside of Kigali, I would like to hear from you. We need to have those kids. They have talent. Do you think about going outside of Kigali, and then you made this school?
I think about many schools. And I think about music as part of a universal education for all of Rwanda.
Sure.
You know, I'm trying to work with the government to have a music curriculum that is a curriculum for any school that wants to come into the country and start a music school. So it shouldn't be, music shouldn't be an addendum to an education. Music should be a part of an education. It's like when you grow up, music is a part of your life, right? I mean, either it is or it isn't, but it should be, because it unlocks a part of the brain that otherwise would never be open. It's like the difference between going in a room and turning on a light and going in a room and turning on a disco light, right? Where it's 27 different colors and your brain's on fire and it works in a totally different way. That's what music does. And you want to educate your kids differently here because you have a country that's growing so fast. The jobs coming in are so sophisticated. So you want to educate the kids in a way that's entrepreneurial, that's sophisticated, that's creative, that's connective. All those things they're going to need to grow as fast as the country's growing.
Okay. What are the challenges do we have so far, according to your experience with the Rwanda Rocks?
Challenges with music education.
Exactly.
Not enough. I'd love to put a music teacher in every primary school. That's another one of our goals.
Okay.
So we were actually talking with one company yesterday about doing a big concert and getting all the top Rwandan performers to raise money to launch a music platform that trains the first generation of Rwandan teachers. And then they train the next generation and the next, and over the course of 3 years, we have a music teacher in every primary school in the country.
Okay.
That's
your wish.
That's the wish.
Okay.
Yes. Through a concert in Rwanda that also supports the G21, which means getting Africa as part of the Union, the European Union.
Okay. Because I have Rwanda Rock students. I think it's time for performance. Right?
Enough about
but
me.
I've seen Riderman and Peace and Wear there. I would like to hear from you. Why Riderman? Why Peace and Wear?
Yes. So Pisholi I met a while back, and I forgot who introduced us. Do you remember who introduced us? No? Do you remember? Somebody introduced us, and we just had the best meeting. Like, you sit down with him, and you feel like everything's going to be okay.
Sure.
You know, I just said to him, how do you think the show's going to go? He goes, I already know it's going to go great. I go, how do you know? Did you dream about it or something? He goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm calling you every day.
Sure, nice.
Riderman, I met through the U.S. ambassador.
Okay.
We were having lunch, and he said, you have to meet this guy. And I'm thinking, he's never going to call me back. He called me right back. We went and we had lunch, and I said, will you be part of this song? And he's like, absolutely. I mean, listen, rock stars, have this incredible gift of being talented. And those that share the gift with children, that's an even more a generosity of spirit that not everybody wants to offer. But kids are the future. You have to, if you don't offer the gift, then how does it keep going and going and going?
Yeah.
So guys like them, I'm sorry, I'm looking over there because they're going to come out in a minute, but guys like that are the ones that care about the next generation, because kids like these are going to put them out of a job.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Welcome on stage. We have Riderman, we have Where, and we have Peace, and then we have Rwanda Rock students around here. Ubwo ngubwo nibyo tugiye gukora rero, nta kindi mu ncamake ibyo yavuze. Batangiye nk'uko ubona iyi logo muri screen zacu, ni Omen Peace Foundation. Batangiye bashaka kubaka amashuri atandukanye mu bihugu bitandukanye bya Afrika. Yatangire Senegal, yagiye mu bihugu bitandukanye, ariko mu Rwanda hageze aravuga ati kubera iki ntakora ishuri ry'umuziki ko mbona wenda hari talent zitandukanye. Ishuri ry'umuziki yararizanye uyu munsi munsi barahari bari gukora, ariko kandi aravuga ati n'abahanzi wenda bakuru bagenda bamfasha, uyu munsi tugiye kubona performance itandukanye. Turi kumwe na Riderman, turi kumwe na Peace, turi kumwe na Where, bagiye kutwereka performance yabo, ati nabo twaraganiriye banyereka ko bashyigikiye igikorwa cyacu. Uyu munsi nicyo turi kugaragaza ko uyu munsi dufite impano kandi tugomba gushyigikira Rwanda Rocks bigisha umuziki n'abana b'abanyarwanda bakiri batoya. Uyu munsi ndi kumwe na Fanaro, ni CEO founder. Uyu munsi niwe turi kuganira mu ncamake ishuri rimeze gute, ubundi tugende na performance yacu duhamagara bakuru bacu. Bamwita Riderman. Peace, Where, welcome on stage. Yeah. Aho muri mukomeze muryoherwe, ni weekend, you feel free. It's a weekend. Nice, let's have it. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
It's a love from the east to the west side, north to the south side, let's come together.
It's a love from the east to the west side, north to the south side, let's come together. It's a love from the east to the west side, north to the south side, let's come together. Woo, 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 yeah. Na 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 na. It's a love, let's work this path together. It's a love, I'm loving you forever. It's a love, take my hand, it's now or never. Reka tugendane tubumwe nk'uko bikwiye. It's a love,
To the west side,
to the west
north to the
side.
south side, let's come together.
Let's come together now.
Love from the east to the west side,
West side.
north to the south side, let's come
Yeah. It's a love, not yes or no. We share more, cause we share blood. Share one no club, not me more. Eyes and lows, yeah, we all know that. See, we are this human race under the sun. Yet we keep on combating instead of having some fun. Can we live in harmony? Forget our differences and the amount of harmony. Cause when you think about it, we're all human beings. And what we need most is love, food, and peace. Life is a stake, as we love, we don't stumble. Without it, we cannot live. We're in trouble.
Love from the east to the west side.
West side.
North to the south side, let's come together.
Let's come together.
It's a love from the east to the west side. North to the south side, let's come together. Kuwa kwisi n'ukwitonda. Kuwana n'ukwitonda niyo numero. It's a love from the east
Wow, great performance. Ariko, Mary, have a seat, but let's talk with peace and then where and the Riderman. Iyo muri kumwe n'abana nk'aba ngaba, reka mhere ku muvandimwe Peace, ubwo we nawe arakurikiraho, and then we go with my brother Rider. Iyo muri kumwe n'abavandimwe nk'aba ngaba, kuri mwebwe, mubona uyu munsi umuziki wacu uri kugana hehe, mubona turi kwerekeza hehe?
Iyo turi kumwe n'abana nk'aba ngaba turi gukora umuziki, ubu noneho urabona ko umuziki uri mu bantu bose.
Sure.
Kera urabizi umwana kuririmba
Ababyeyi
n'ahandi no hanze, ariko urabona ko umwana yisanzuye araririmba, kandi buriya no kuririmba bifungura ikindi gice cy'ubwonko kuri we, afite imitekerereze mizima, hari n'umuhanzi ndetse azi no kuririmba kuko ni ibintu byiza cyane. So kuba turi kumwe nabo nk'abakuru babo ni ikintu cyiza, mbese ni indi generation gutyo.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, where uri kumwe n'abashiki bawe batoya hariya, nabonye uri kubigisha utuntu twagurya kugira ngo amajwi asohoke fresh. Ni barumuna bawe, nekereza ko ni ikintu cyiza, harimo abasaza bawe, harimo barumuna bawe. Uyu munsi utekereza ko umuziki wacu noneho ku bakobwa batangiye kwitinyuka, ko nagiye mbonamo harimo abakobwa harimo n'abahungu, ubibona gute kuri bo?
Mbona ari ibintu byiza cyane, nibyo dufite abakobwa benshi, yego, bigaragaza yuko umukobwa ushaka kuba umuririmbyi cyangwa ushaka kuba umuhanzi bitajya bimutera ipfunwe, ariko ni n'ikintu cyiza kigaragaza ko n'ababyeyi bamaze kubyumva, kuko bari hano kuko ababyeyi babo babyemeye. Rero nacyo ni ikintu twavuga cyo kwishimira, kuko nk'uko Peace yabikomojeho, kera byari bigoye kubwira umubyeyi ushaka kuba umuhanzi, urukumva rero n'abana bibasubiza inyuma. Rero biranjimisha cyane kuba ndi gutanga ubumenyi buke mu bumenyi mfite, nkawusangiza abarumuna banjye nk'uko babivuze.
Mu biryo byagenze gute? Weruka kera.
Byagenze neza, ariko ngomba gusubirayo kurangiza album.
Uzasubirayo ryari?
Muri uyu mwaka uje.
Okay, nice.
Covid
I know, Covid ni ibibazo. My brother Rider.
Yo.
Egera gatoya.
Okay.
Urumwe mu baraperi uyu munsi navuga ko bahagaze neza, urumwe mu baraperi uyu munsi bamwe bagenda bareberaho. Nabonye post yawe ya Ish Kevin uvuga kuri proud ye, uri proud y'igitaramo ari gutegura, aba ari ikintu cyiza cyane. Kuri wowe, iyo uri kubona abana nk'aba ngaba nanone ukabereka hip hop yawe ariko muri kumwe nabo, ubona ko injyana yacu uyu munsi iri kwerekeza hehe, ubona umuziki wacu uri kwerekeza hehe, Rider?
Ni ikintu cyiza cyane ko mu bitekerezwa na hip hop itekerezwa. Kuko mbere babaraga umuraperi nk'umuntu w'umurara, umuntu
udafite agaciro,
imyitwarire mibi cyane, ariko ubu ngubu iyo turi kumwe n'aba jeunes bakabona yuko ndi umuntu w'umubyeyi, ndi umuntu utaramana nabo, ntibamboneho ibyo badukekagaho bibi, itabi n'indi mico mibi, biba bitanga icyizere. Abangaba barakura nabo bakavamo abaraperi beza, abahanzi beza, abanyamuziki beza. So biba ari ibintu byiza rero kubona yuko tugirirwa icyizere kuri uyu mwanya kuruta uko byari bimeze mbere. So bitanga icyizere kuri twebwe no kuri generation izakurikiraho, yuko izakora ibintu byiza nikomeza kugirirwa icyizere.
Okay, thank you so much. I salute you guys. Mwakwisubira hariya, ubundi nanjye nyirana iminota mikeya n'umuvandimwe. Mwirirwe. Not muramuke. Use it during night.
So
Mwiriwe during day. And then
Nichwa Mary.
Okay, and then
Witwande.
What's your name?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Mary.
Witwande.
Nichwa Mary.
Oh yeah. Just say Mary. Witwande.
Just say Mary. Okay. Mary.
Nice. What makes you happy when you sing these kids?
Javon. Where's Javon? I want to say hi to Javon. Makes me happy.
Javon, who is Javon?
Javon's
Welcome
the
on stage. Just come.
He's been with me since day one.
Just stand here. Stand there.
Yeah. He's been with me since day one.
Okay.
And he doesn't get enough credit, but he's my first music teacher when we were at the other school, then here where we are now at Kachiru. So he's the Pied Piper, the kids, they all follow him wherever he goes.
So you started the school with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He was the first teacher.
Okay. Still
So-
now you're together, right?
Now we're still together.
Okay, wow.
So I just wanted to say, Javon, he's like the one that gets the least credit, and does a lot of work.
Nice. Thank
So,
you, Giovanni.
Okay.
Urakoze komeza
Yeah.
ufasha abavandimwe.
Yeah.
Akwisubirirayo hariya.
Good job.
N'uyo
Urakoze.
wanyura ngaho nta kibazo.
Yes.
I think when you have kids, you need even parents.
Yeah.
Do you talk to the parents to have these kids in Rwanda Rocks? Or there's someone to do that?
Well, I think, so I actually didn't know that that was the case. Normally, when you start a music school, the parents sign the kids up and then they come to the school. I'm starting to see that, maybe you should have an agreement or something with the parents to come to the school. So listen, I'm still learning all about the culture and how it works and, the parents and the kids. I met with a couple parents when I arrived here.
Sure.
But listen, there were parents that were unsure about Rwanda Rocks, and then Javon, because they all follow Javon, they brought them there, and now I have parents that come to me and say,
are they happy?
Murakoze.
So are
Thank
they
you.
happy with the talents?
Very happy, yeah,
Okay.
because listen, it's not just about music. You learn, you learn respect. You learn how to show up on time. You learn how to be accountable and responsible. You learn how to connect. Sometimes those kids come in and they're scared of their own shadows, and they leave and they're, Mick Jagger, for my case.
Okay. What is the plan or the focus with Rwanda Rocks in this industry?
So our goals probably in the next 3 years would be to create or help support an existing curriculum, music curriculum with the government.
Okay.
That then is a master curriculum for any music school that wants to come into town. There's one curriculum that everybody's working under.
Okay.
Right? That's the main goal. Then the second one is to put a music teacher in every primary school across the country, that we launch a universal music education, that music is part of a basic education, not something you have to pay for, not something you have to go to school for after school. It's in your school. The third one is to build my 10th school here, which would be the first primary and secondary Rwanda Rocks music school. And that would also be my 10th.
Primary and secondary.
Primary and secondary. Full on brick and mortar.
Okay.
Build it. If you go on the website, you'll see a virtual tour. So I had an architect design it already. So in my mind, I already know what it's going to look like. So when you click on the link, it'll walk you through as if you're a virtual person walking through the actual 10th school.
Okay. Have you started anything about the curriculum of music?
Yes.
Okay.
We have so when I came here, I was about a week before I arrived. I was sitting I wasn't sure this was going to happen, as you know, right? I went home, I ran into a friend, and I said, this crazy thing happened, and he said, that's exactly what you should do, Mary. You should do what your friend Lucky said and do the music school. And I said, I don't think I can. I don't know anything about it. And he said, I'm going to help you. He was the guy that was the fundraising arm for the Grammys. So within, I swear, 30 days, we had like $50,000 worth of instruments on their way to Rwanda. And I hadn't even bought my ticket back or knew I was coming back. So I was Googling music schools for dummies. What do I do? And the woman sitting next to me said, my best friend is in Rwanda now. He's a conductor for the New York Philharmonic, and he's about to become head of Berklee College of Music Composition, which is one of the most prestigious schools in the world.
Sure.
And she said, he'll start your music school for you. Okay. And he started it. He found the kids. He found the teachers, Javon from Meg Foundation, and Musicians Without Borders. So those were our first schools and our first teachers. And that's how it all began. Emmanuel, who was at the REB, I think now he's ambassador to Dubai for the president.
Okay.
And then I met the president.
Wow, so nice.
And we were at a summit for Cherie Blair. And we were all in line, all the women were in line, and I had stuffed a Rwanda Rocks t-shirt in my pocket. And I walked up to him, and I was like, here, and he's like, I remember you. Because he had remembered me from Rwanda Day San Francisco.
Sure.
And when I had asked him a question with 1,000 people in a room, and he said, well, first of all, Mary,
and you're
let's
showing
keep
him
on,
that I'm around here.
Right, and he said, let's keep on rocking.
Okay.
And that was live here, so everybody heard that. Anyway, so I gave him the shirt, and he called somebody over to take our picture, and then they sent me that picture. So he said, I'm going to come visit you, so I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, nice one. Let's talk about the government and the support from them, from the government of Rwanda.
So I've met, I mean, there's so many R's. REB, RDB, RBA, the ministers.
Sure.
So, you know, I've met with them all, and I have real, you know, I have support from the RDB. I'm working with the REB now. We just met with the Director General, somebody from Rwanda Polytechnic, to collaborate on a curriculum together. So I met with the Minister of Youth and Culture yesterday. Nice. Met with Airtel. So we're all talking about doing something really big together, which is really all about launching a multicultural music platform. Listen, it's culture, right? Music is culture.
Thank you. I wish you all the best with Rwanda Rocks. Why not even Omni Peace Foundation?
Omni Peace Foundation.
Any message to Rwandans who are watching us right now?
I learned this from my friend the other day at lunch. He said, blues is the teacher and funk is the preacher.
Blues is the teacher
and funk is the preacher.
What's the meaning of that?
Meaning blues is what, you know, he's Rwandan, and meaning that blues is who we all kind of learn from, but the preacher man is funk.
Wow.
Right? So it was great.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks for coming. I wish you all the best. With, after 5 years, you're back, and then I see kids there, talents.
We're still here. You can't get rid of us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Lucky.
Okay, let's keep rocking.
Let's keep, exactly. Thank you.
So arakoze cyane mu byo yavuze ni byinshi bitandukanye, ariko yagarutse kuba uyu munsi ishuri rihari, arifuza ko mu myaka 3 iri imbere yaba afite wenda tuvuge wenda amasomo ahamye y'abantu bagomba kwiga umuziki. Atariko nanone narishimye umunsi twari turi mu nama, ubundi muhura n'umukuru w'igihugu, ndangije mwereka ko nanjye ndi hano ubwo twahirukanaga San Francisco muri Rwanda Day, ubundi namubwiye ati turahari kandi twaraje. Byari ibintu byiza cyane, ati nanjye ndifuza ko umunsi kuwundi dukomeza tugatera imbere. Atariko nanone ndashimira government yamfashije ibintu bitandukanye umunsi, ati RBA turi hano mwakoze cyane exactly, ariko na RDB baramufashije cyane. Ubundi ku munsi w'ejo hashize yari ari kumwe na Ministre w'urubyiruko n'umuco. Byari ibintu byiza cyane kuri we, ndetse n'uyu munsi yishimira ko akomeza gutera imbere. So mu gufata break nanabashimira cyane, mwakoze kuza muzamura ibiganza mupepera abanyarwanda mwese museka cyane. Ba rider bari hariya ku ruhande nabo basetse. So ndashimira umuntu wese turi kumwe, turakomeza n'ikiganiro cyacu, ariko ibya Rwanda Rocks reka tuhagarikire hano, ariko tubifuriza gutera imbere cyane.